class. Oh, no problem. Okay. So, check, check, check. And let's see, how am I looking right here, Deb? Okay. Am I grounded and centered? All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Qigong Practice. I'm Tim. And, of course, today we have Deborah and Cindy, my two favorite movement mentors. And so, Rita, you're staying for Qigong? Cool. Yeah. And, we have, there is chair-based Qigong, but we always, even though we're not really going to do any specific chair-based exercises, it's always available in case you want to use it. And anything we can do standing, we can do modified. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying a beautiful day today. Okay. It's a little bit overcast, but it's easy on the eyes. Not getting the glare. Anyway, so why don't we begin by doing our bird wings out to the side, just kind of working up our energy and our breath. Do one more of these. All right, and then let's open the door, as they say, stepping out to the left and continuing to get our chi ready. Packing our chi. And for those who are wondering, qi is just a Chinese term, and it is interpreted in many different ways. And for our purposes, qi is breath. It equals breath or energy. So when I talk about our qi, then that's what we're talking about is our breath and our energy. And some people even go so far as to suggest that it is our very life force, which kind of has a certain degree of validity since, well, let's face it, if you're not breathing, you don't have much life force going. So anyway, that's what we're doing, is cultivating our qi. That's what Qigong refers to, is using it, cultivating it. So from here, as we bring our arms up, let's bring them to the side and broaden our chest, open our hearts, taking a nice breath inward, and then exhaling as we bring our hands back together and down. And as usual, we want to make sure we give ourselves a soft knee, flexible, rather than locking our knees. Breathe. as we bring our hands back together, let's pause for a moment and hug the tree. As we hug the tree, continue to breathe. Just kind of let, as you inhale, kind of notice that your fingertips part a little bit, and as you exhale, they tend to come back together. Now from here, let's raise our hands upward over our head, and we'll tilt the moon. And as we tilt to one side, be sure and inhale. Feel the stretch down the side. And then exhale as you tip the moon back towards the center. And then again on the other side, inhaling. Time each side. Okay, good. All right, let's extend our arms out to the side and rotate at the wrist. Or hands, I should say. And then let's go in the opposite direction. Now let's flex, pointing up and in. Feel those ligaments and muscles working on the forearm. Let's take a moment to shake it out, as if though you're shaking water off your hands. Just shake that water off your hands. Also, shaking like this kind of just helps shake off the stress or any kind of tension you might have in your body. Yeah, I'm sure certainly you've seen your dogs do it. They'll come running up to you, and then they'll stop, and then they'll look at you, and then they'll go. Yeah, they're shaking off the stress. It's a natural thing. They know how to do it. The humans are the ones that got to learn how to live. But let's circle our elbows, circle our forearms at the elbow. One direction. Just kind of getting that elbow warmed up and moved up and gently strengthened. And now let's go in the opposite direction. Okay, now let's give this arm a chance. I'm rotating from inboard to outboard. Continuing to breathe. And now let's go in the other way. So I'm wondering, can we do this with both arms? Okay, so I got one going clockwise and one going counterclockwise. I'm going to reverse that. So that it'll be easier to transition into reeling silk. So reeling silk is actually a good exercise for your whole torso and up and down your back. And what we do is we come up through the middle with our hands back to back, and then about face level, turn our palms outward, and let them drift back down. Give a little bit of a flex in your knees, come back up again. You can connect your breathing with your movements. Let's do 2 more of these. And last one. Okay, that was beautiful. Well, moving on from reeling silk, let's do what they refer to as spinning the silk wheel, and that is coming up to the shoulder and again getting it warmed up and loosened up and lubricated and gently strengthened. And it's particularly good movement if you have problems with your shoulder like I do. You can go one direction or another, or just do a random direction change. And don't forget to breathe. All right, let's get the other arm going. And if you like, you can connect your breath with your movement. Exhaling or inhaling as your arm goes in one direction or another. Okay, so let's work our way back to center here, and let's position our hands, palms facing each other, one arm on top and one arm on the bottom, and just visualize that we're holding a ball, like an energy ball, a chi ball, or even the moon for that matter, which we'll call it the moon since this form is called embracing the moon. And so with our moon here, we'll shift over to one side, and then when we get to that point, we'll flip our hands over and gravitate back through the center to the other side. And a good indicator as to whether you're doing it right is if you're following the direction that your elbow is pointed. The elbow is leading the way. Embracing. Okay, let's find our way back to the center here. And we've still got our moon here. We got a lot we can do with it. And so we can harmonize our chi with our hands. And so we'll greet the sun as we do that. We'll cast off the old chi, and the other hand will scoop up the fresh chi, and we'll bring our hands together and do the same thing, greeting the sun and harmonizing the chi. I should mention in the stance that we have here, shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider. We like to just shift our weight from side to side. Kind of keeps our balance dialed in. Highly technical term. Wasn't exactly what I was fishing for, but keeps it calibrated. It keeps you aware of your body position. So from here, let us take one palm and push it out towards the side as we twist at our waist. And let the other hand go behind us. And then switch sides as we stretch and twist. Gently work those back muscles. Perhaps they might be a little sore and stiff. This particular form was taken from a set of exercises that was designed for hikers, you know, with their big old backpack and all the equipment that they drag along with them. After a while, you get a sore back and you want to stop. And the worst thing you can do is just slump down against a tree and let your muscles get cold and stiff. So stretching and twisting is good for that situation. right, let's like we did with our wringing our hands of water. Let's do a whole body, gentle monkey bear. It's sort of it's a similar thing. You're just kind of letting your arms go limp like Raggedy Ann, and just twisting at the waist and letting loose of all your tendons and muscles, and letting loose of your mind. Gentle monkey bear. Or ringing the temple bell, I think it's also called. Probably called a dozen different things over the years. All right. Now let's do our favorite shoulder stretch. Let's get our stance adjusted here a little bit, and put our hands on our hips and twist over for a nice little shoulder bend. Take a moment to take a breath. And let's come back to the center and over the other side. Get a nice stretch in. Back up to the center, back to the other side. One last time to the sides. And back to center. Why don't we take a moment to get a sip of something wet. Maybe you have water, tea. How you doing, Rita? You guys doing okay? All right. Well, I think let's continue with the 18th Shibashi. So we begin in a ready position, and we'll start with a little prayer hands bow salute. And then step out to the left. Let's bring our arms up like we did before and commence to getting our chi flowing. Chest, opening our heart, taking a nice inhale and a nice gentle exhale. You may wonder why I don't count our repetitions like we do in some of our other classes. It's because I'm busy trying to breathe. I can't talk and chew gum or breathe at the same time. So that's my excuse. And I'm sticking to it. You know me too well. Sometimes I just get lost in the music. And I was like, oh, are you guys still here? Alright, so let's bring our hands all the way up to the 12 o'clock position and just make sure we've got a little wider than shoulder stance, because we're going to do that weight shifting. But what we're going to do in this case is dance with the rainbows. So as your body shifts one side, your hands will go to the other side, and it's sort of an upside down tick-tock. But we're imagining that our fingers are just running through the colors of the rainbow overhead. Now there's a companion form called Dancing with the Rainbows. And so we can transition to that, and what happens is one hand kind of comes to the mid section of the top of your head like this, while the other palm is straight out. And then you just alternate sides as you dance with the rainbow. Alright, let's do one more each side, just so we can move on. And when your hands get to the 12 o'clock position, go ahead and let them come back down to your side. Let's take a moment to circle our arms, just to get the blood flowing again. And down, scooping up the chi, going back out into the universe. And one more time. All right. Okay, from here, let's push off to the diagonal with our palm. And then as we bring it back, go across your body and get a nice twist as you push your palm in the opposite direction. And don't forget to breathe. Let's do two more on each side. So this would be one. And the last one. And back to center. All right. Good job. Let's grab the oars on the paddles, the handles for our oars on a rowboat, and let's row the boat. Called rowing a boat. And you can go in either direction. So I'm just wondering, Deb, we should be going in that direction if we're rowing like this, right? Okay. All right, so let's reverse directions and row our boat the other way, because we left our little igloo cooler on the dock there. We got to go back to the dock and get our igloo cooler. Let's row one last time. And then just let those oars flop back in the oar locks. All right. So, that being said, let us step out on the diagonal with one foot, and we're going to scoop the riches from the sea. So we are aiming for our toe, basically, and scooping the riches up out of the sea, and then letting them just wash over our body. And then scoop again. And there's a modified version called Ball to the Valley. It's basically the same move, except it comes about the area of your knee rather than your toes. So if you prefer, you can always modify so that your range of motion. Whatever feels good. Couple more scoops on this side. next one. And back to center. And continuing, put it out on the diagonal. Get adjusted here so they don't knock everything over. Scooping from the sea. Or if you prefer, ball to the valley. Same basic move. Let's do this one last time after this one. And coming back to center. Playing with the waves. So let's bring our one foot in the kickstand position and our hands at shoulder height, and we'll step out into the L stance and push the waves. So pushing the waves, I should mention you don't want to get off balance by allowing your knee to flex any further forward than the toes, the tip of your shoe. So you don't want to get off balance. This is another QiGong form called push the mountain. Well, it's basically the same thing. But in push the mountain, we can do the same thing in pushing the waves. We visualize just pushing away all the stress and sorrow and anxiety, pushing it all out of our life, and then pulling back in the peace and the love and the serenity. Okay, so now this will be the last one on this side, and so as we pull our hands back in, lift your toe and pivot on your heel if you can, and then do the same, lift the toe and pivot on the other side, so that now that we're switched over and ready to push the waves in the opposite direction. so get ready to finish up on this side and then come back to center. And so our next form is called spreading your wings. So we'll step out on the diagonal on the 45, raise our arms up and spread our wings. Particularly like this form. It's just sort of calming as you're breathing in and breathing out, the motion of your hands. Let's do one last over here, and then come back in towards the center, shifting over and flapping our arms this side. This is kind of a cool song. I never thought I'd be doing QiGong to it. Let's spread our wings 2 more times. Come back. Okay, this next one's Shibashi number 14 is punching. So what we do is get in a modified horse stance, get ready to punch with a fierce look on our face, and get ready, and as we punch, go ha! And before you retract your hand, grab your opponent's robe, the lapel, and pull back and go ha! And again, don't let him get away. Ha! 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 One last time. Ha! And back to center. Get a little breath going there. Yeah, feels good. Okay. Spinning wheels. So let's let our arms drift up to the 12 o'clock position and just kind of let our trunk twist at the waist and then bend downward like we're following a big Ferris wheel. And we'll do 4 in each direction. We don't want to do too much of a good thing. when our hands get to the 12 o'clock position, let's change direction. I think we have one more. When your hands get to the 12 o'clock position, then go ahead and stop. Step in a bit, shoulder width. Bring your arms down. Very good. Looking good. All right, so Shibashi number 17 is called Bouncing a Ball. So let's see. We can start with same side bouncing with our arm and our foot. So here we are bouncing a ball and practicing our balance, coordination. Of course, I always envision one of those marionettes. Now let's try opposite. Let's try the opposite knee and arm bouncing ball. Very good. Alright, so Shibashi number 18 is called pressing the palms, but we know it more as collecting up the chi, which is what we do at the end of our Shibashi session. So with that, we bring our hands out, pushing our chi back in towards our body, pressing it down into our belly, and then once again, gathering it up, pushing it down into the lower dantian. And then come back to center. Give a little prayer hand salute. So that concludes the 18th Shibashi, and it also is the end of our Qigong session. So with that, we will do our fist palm salute. Right fist, left palm, little bow towards the front. Thanks for joining us, Rita. Thank you, Cindy, Deborah. And thank you out there for joining us today. Hope you have a nice rest of the day.